My name is Charlotte and I'm from Thailand. I grew up in Thailand. My mother's Thai and my father is British.
My name is Werner. I'm from Finland originally. When I was 9, I moved to Mozambique, lived there for 3.5 years, and then moved to Switzerland.
My name is Anaïs Gallet. I'm half French, half German, and I lived in Shanghai for a very long time.
Hi, my name's Derek. Derek van Gelderen. I'm half French, half Dutch. I was born in Paris. I lived there for the first 13 years of my life. Went to an international school and then I moved to England.
I'm Siobhan. I'm half German, half Scottish, and I was born and raised in China.
My name is Priya Birchie and I'm half Italian, half Indian. I was born in New York because my parents work in the UN, but I've grown up for most of my life in Geneva.
I did find it extremely difficult to adapt to the British culture at university because there wasn't the same level of interest in, say, the way I grew up as it was in the way they grew up. But having said that, I also felt a lot of the times I was exoticized because I was from Thailand and that's polar opposite of England in a way, but which I find funny because when I'm in England I define it as Thai, but when I'm in Thailand I don't really identify myself as anything. I'm just me.
Yeah, I don't know, I think it was hard in a way that I thought maybe coming to the UK would mean I would come back to Europe from Asia and that would help me feel more at home, but I didn't. So I guess that was a negative. Before that, in Shanghai, everyone was TCK, so it was sort of normal, and I felt normal in that way. And then coming to the UK, where people tended to have, I don't know, more roots, yeah, it felt more like, ooh, where do I actually belong to, and is this normal, am I normal?
Coming into a British university where there's mostly British students, it was very difficult to relate to anybody, to be honest. It was because I was used to a culture where everybody is from everywhere else, and it was strange to see that everybody was from England throughout university. I was always looking for more friends to find people that were always more relatable in some ways to my experiences, trying to find similar kind of people. I guess from a TCK perspective, being a TCK meant I was never comfortable in one place for a very long time.
For some reason I kind of thought that university was going to be a really similar experience to my fully international boarding school, which of course it wasn't. I had these ideas about what it meant to be British in itself, and I think that was the biggest thing that I had to kind of overcome, is that I wasn't really British. I kind of came into this really sort of complex society and complex idea of national identity, and it took me a really long time to kind of figure that out, and I think in that way being a TCK didn't really help me with the transition into university. It made it a lot more confusing.
When I came to Bristol and got to know the people that went to university, it became clear to me that there was more, and people were like, whoa, that's pretty awesome, or when you discuss your background, they're like, that's cool, and I started to realize that I wasn't just Finnish, and then when I go back to Finland, I realized I was losing that kind of national identity in some ways.
So it's really interesting coming to England and Bristol in particular because even though it's a very artistic environment, a lot of platforms for students to express themselves politically, culturally, socially, and personally, I still felt like because it was encased in the British environment, their concept of what minority means is completely different to what my concept of what a minority group is. Here there's much more of an agenda to tick boxes off. I felt like being a TCK, you don't really fall in any of these boxes that are meant to encourage diversity and are meant to encourage multiculturalism. So that's really bizarre for me.
And I think that being a TCK in terms of identity, it gives you a diverse and complex and much more tolerant identity, but I also think it's quite a complicated existence because you don't have the security of having one singular grounded identity that a national identity affords you.